Welcome to the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonis, and the founder of the Write Your Own Story company. Girl, I can tell you right now, you are definitely enough. Here we value service, sisterhood, connection, laughter, and that super genuine, keep it real, tell you like it is honesty. My hope is at the end of each episode, you realize you can do whatever it is you dream about and that you are not alone with what you struggle with. I'm hoping that you are snapping and clapping and hell yes in your way through each one of these episodes. So if this tracks with you, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonis, and I am so thrilled to be here with Katrena Friel, all the way from Australia, correct?
Yes.
Oh, this is so fun. I love talking to international women. What a treat. So I know our time zones are all whack-a-mole, but I really appreciate you hopping on and having this conversation with me. It is my night and your morning.
Yes. First thing. Love it.
Oh my, is it Friday?
Yes, it's Friday.
Well, it's Thursday. Isn't this wild? Oh my God. So cool. I love it so much.
The world is still alive in the future, I promise.
Thank you for letting me know, because at the moment, sometimes I wonder.
Exactly. Me too.
So Katrena is also a fellow business coach, a girl's girl, and really is just all around empowering women to really find their strength and lean into their gifts. And I thought it would be so cool for two women who do fairly similar things, because I host the podcast, but I also coach business as well. I was like, let's talk about it and share perspective and band together. And I thought that that would be really fun and super interesting. So what I love about your business is sort of this, like, when we were talking a little bit off camera and on email, one of the things that you wanted to do, like before I start every episode, I like to give an intention to the episode. And you had mentioned that you would like to dedicate this to the women, and a lot of the women that you serve are the people that are sitting at work and are like, oh my God, is this it? I think moms at home can have moments like that. Certainly women and men at work can have moments like that. But I just think that notion alone, which a lot of people aren't brave enough to say out loud, is so real and so honest. And really I love, after, sort of scouring your Instagram and checking out your website, this whole concept of finding our inner business witch to create our own business magic. I think that's really cool. I'm here for it.
Good.
I love it. Would you mind, before I dive into all my curious cat questions, would you give us a quick bio about you and tell us around sort of this notion of what it means to be a business witch?
So to me, I've always been curious, always loved to learn, and I go on many little adventures down little rabbit holes. And when I did I think I was doing like a consultant had to do all my psychometric testing. And he came out of that testing going, you are a born consultant. And
That's
I'm
cool.
like, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah,
and he goes,
totally.
Well, it's just not normal.
Forget normal. I'm not normal either. Yeah.
He goes, because most people just stick on the well-worn path and follow the dreams of their parents or whatever drives people to do what they don't want to do is beyond me. And I've never been like that. The minute I get bored, the minute I feel like I've grown enough in this role, I'll start looking for the next role. And then when I found business, I was like, you mean I'll never get bored again? This is the best.
Right?
So off I went. Yeah. And look, it took a car accident to get me on the path, but the universe works in magical ways. And sometimes when you see something as a negative, it actually is a positive, but you just don't see it yet because you haven't got the perspective that the universe has. So at about 25, I had my first spiritual awakening, and that's when everything clicked into place, and I understood who I was, how I am in the universe, how magic works, and what to look out for. Keep a lookout for all the signposts. So I just went, okay, that just completely clicks for me, and off I went. And from 25 to 56 now, I've been on this trajectory, seeing magic absolutely everywhere, and obviously wanting it for everyone else, of course. Particularly women. I mean, we're meant to live in magic. We are magic. We create life. I mean, we are magical beings. And if we just leaned into that more, we wouldn't get we wouldn't live these mundane, beige, boring trajectories and get to the point where you just go, is this it?
Is this it? Oh my god. I have about 99,000 things I want to unpack. First with I call bullshit that you're 56. There's
Yeah.
no way. Well, your light, your energy, first of all, your skin. Well, I would need to know your skincare regimen. Like, I mean, you just radiate youth and energy. So
Oh
whatever you're
gosh,
doing, keep doing it. Although age is absolutely a gift. I don't mind getting older.
totally. I put it down to two things. One, I've been in a my with my relationship for 38 years. So I've been loved from the very beginning when I was 18 right through. And that's one of the major reasons why I probably haven't aged. And the other thing is I didn't have children on purpose. So
Yeah.
I really feel that women that have children are taking on the hardest job in the world, and I just wasn't gutsy enough for that.
I respect that 1,000%. My mom always said that if you don't want children, please don't
Don't
have
have
them.
them. No,
Yeah.
exactly right. I
Yeah.
think
I know.
I wanted a
Yeah.
different type of life. And look, I probably had 50,000 children in previous lives. So this life is for me to do what I'm doing rather than anything else.
And I love that you know that and you lean into that, and that is hilarious that probably you've raised me out
Well, the
of
weird
women.
thing is,
Yeah.
I knew it from 16. I was really defiant
Mhm.
at 16, telling everybody about it. And
Yeah.
everyone just nod their head, going, you'll change, you'll change. And I think it made me more steely because I'm
Yeah.
so defiant.
Yeah.
And so I just stuck to my guns. And I honestly, even though I had the partner who would have
Mhm.
been a fantastic father and would have made me a better mother, um, just we just went on our own merry way. We
Right.
lived.
It's not true to who you are or how you wanna live your
No,
life.
it mustn't be. It mustn't be. Yeah.
So from a young age, you're very good. Like one of the impetuses of this show is to encourage women to put down societal shoulds and just live your
Yeah.
own authentic life. And that took
That's
me 40 years to learn. And I'm so glad that you got that in 16, because I think it truly, and it takes a lot of unconditioning to sort of unwire, rewire the brain to not be so this is what my parents said should do, or this is what my family does, or this is how my family lives, or this is what society says. And it's like, no, I'm just going to do what I want to do because that, like, I have of the hundreds of hours that I've been on this show, the happiest women are the women who are living authentically and doing work from it that is a natural extension of their gifts. That is like one of the long-term sort of research takeaways that I've taken thus far. So it makes me so thrilled to see you doing the same.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, can we dive more into and please share what you want to share and what you don't want to share, but this sort of spiritual awakening and how that became sort of the foundation, it seems like, for how you coach women.
Yeah. So I was very, I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I found this. Oh, that's right. I was a graphic artist. I'd started my very first baby business, and it was called Design by Me, and I was a graphic artist. And this lady found me, and I quoted her for her brochure $250 back in the day.
Yeah.
And when I was doing the brochure was the most beautiful work, and it was magical, and it was and I did this fold where
Mhm.
when you folded it in and folded it out, it made this. I don't know how I did it, but anyway, it was pretty amazing. And she said, do you want to barter for the course that I was designing the brochure for? And I never would have been able to afford to go to the course. And in designing the brochure, I obviously wanted to go to the course because I could see every inch of it was screaming my name. And so we swapsied, and off I went. And again, this is the universe's magic, knowing that I would never look for a course, that I would never pay for a course, but they do it in this way so that I get to the course because
I
the
love it.
universe wanted me at that course because
Mhm.
it changed every cell in my body, and
Mm.
it changed me instantly. And I've never been the same since. So it's changed the trajectory of my life and the way
Oh,
I viewed life. And it just made everything, I understood everything and the way the structure of the world was and how it all works and my role in it, and etc. So Oh my God, you talk about like a pivotal moment in your life. Well, that was one for me. That was definitely one. Yeah, and you have many spiritual awakenings, but this was my first and biggest one because without that one, none of this would have unraveled.
One of the other common themes on this show is this notion of pivots that like happen to you
Yeah.
or happen or you make happen.
Or you.
Yes, for you, truly. And I've never thought of them in conjunction with spiritual awakenings, but
Yeah.
that resonates so deeply, both of my own and from the stories that I've heard from all these amazing women. And I'm now obsessed with that connection. It
Yeah.
totally tracks. Oh my God. So,
Yeah.
okay. So you go to this course, you've swap seed and you're so inspired. Like all of a sudden you're seeing in color from black and white when you thought
Yeah.
you were seeing in color before. How has that changed your life? Like, what was so you come out of this pivot and what's next?
Well, it took away all my worries and
Ooh.
concerns about how wretched the world was.
Can I go to
And it,
that course right now?
yeah, yeah, because as women, we worry. We worry about humanity. We worry about
Yeah.
children and we worry about other mothers and we worry about just everything. And when we have children, your whole life is now just one big worry ball about keeping them alive, for heaven's sakes,
Yes.
because there's just so much out there that can happen.
Yes.
So, what it did was allowed me to understand that, and this is a big concept, and not everyone's ready for it. So it could trigger people, but no matter what it is, it has been it has been written, as it were. So if you're living an eternal life and you've come down here and or been everywhere forever,
Yeah.
and you have in my case, let's say I broke my leg in three places, everyone
Oof.
would deem that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
But when you break your leg in three places or anything bad happens like that, it's for a reason. There is something the soul wants to experience, so it writes it in so that it knows how it felt, because it doesn't know what that feels like to be beheaded or to be hung or to be burnt or to be drowned or to be die in a car accident or any of these things that we deem as humans as being bad. But when you look at it from a point of view of the
Mhm.
soul is experiencing Katrena Friel as a blink.
Ooh. Okay, so when the
So it
soul is
doesn't matter to it
yeah,
what
interesting.
pain it thinks I'm living. It's just curious. That's all a soul is curious. That's all. And so
Oh.
it wants to know all the things that it's put me through. It wants to know through me what that feels like. So it does it. And then
Does the same go for positive things like love and joy and
all of it. All of it. Yes. It's just when we live in duality where you've got good and bad, black and
yeah,
white thinking, life, if you live like that, life is going to be so shit, like really shit, because everything is this or that. It
yes.
can't be this or that. Whereas when you live understanding the bigger picture and knowing, even if our little bodies don't know it right now, the
Mhm.
beauty of spiritual awakening and spiritual understanding is you do get the aha eventually.
Yeah. Oh
Sometimes you
my
get it in the now, but eventually you get it. And that's why we love when people do their healing, is because you go back to all the times you thought was bad and
Mhm.
you heal, getting the aha moment. And that's why we ask everybody to do their work, because once you understand it and you get your aha, it's just from that perspective now, rather than from the black and white perspective you had before, like, oh, I fell over and broke my leg. Okay, well, that was bad. But was it? When you
Yeah.
go back and do your healing, gosh, just from my broken leg and a boy in primary school throwing me over his shoulder and breaking my leg, and I was a ballet dancer in three places, my leg was never the same.
Yeah.
You think that's terrible for a child to go through, but you will not believe the underpinning of what that was there to teach me, and what I have subsequently learnt about myself and what I did to myself to dumb myself down after that. Yeah, was
Can you talk
big,
about
because that in that moment I was too much.
oh god, that hits so
Yeah.
square in the
So I
solar plex.
spent the rest
Like,
of my life going, right, it's dangerous to
to be
be
too
too
much.
much.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think every woman has had a moment, unless you were told way too early to be quiet, where you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's dangerous to be too much. Oh my God. My soul is like,
Yeah.
well, there it is.
Yeah, and I'm tingling from head to toe because it loves me honoring that learning. It loves it. My body is just alive right now.
God. That is unreal. I'm gonna think about that all night long because it's true, and I know, I've constantly been told that I'm too loud, too much, too this, too that, but I'm like, I am who I am, and that no longer serves me. So, like, I am what I am. Take it or leave it, and catch me if you can, kind of thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you
But
know?
let's think about this. If you want to stay up all night long,
Yeah.
imagine
Yes.
every woman letting that go.
Mm.
You know why they keep us down? Is because they do not want us to work that out.
Who do you consider they in that
They,
statement?
as in men, will not
Mm.
want women to suddenly step into their own and be fearless and to be all that they can be, including anger and rage.
Mhm.
And you
Yes.
know what? We're at the tipping point of that right now.
It
And
certainly
that's
feels
why
that way.
men are very scared. And that's why there's all this shit going on for men. Men are like going, what is like, we have to hold on to this with all our might. They can't. The earth is changing, we're changing, they're changing, we're all
Mhm.
changing. And I tell you what, women are waking up. And when we find our own, there will be no pay gap, I assure you.
God, I hope so. And I hope that men like know how to love and cherish a woman who is fearless and fierce and like,
Yeah,
but also soft and magical, as
vulnerable.
you say. Yes, truly.
Yeah.
I think at the
But
moment, people look at us like an
it
enigma.
yeah, and it requires more of them. And I think the majority of men are not able to do it because they haven't done their work over the
Yeah.
decades. Any
Yeah.
man that's done their work will know how to be with a woman in her power. But
Yeah.
I can tell you what, it doesn't look like it looks today.
Mm-mm.
It
No,
doesn't look
it's,
like that at all.
oh, what does it look like to you?
Well,
Hey, busy moms and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you want to learn how to build a high income business in just 20 hours a week so you can enjoy more time with your kids, all while transforming yourself from overwhelmed to confident in just 90 days, then you need to check out my masterclass. I'm Betsy, a busy mom of four and a business coach obsessed with helping women just like you build thriving businesses that fit your life, not the other way around. After 20 years in marketing and building my own nonprofit and e commerce business, I know exactly what it takes to go from overwhelmed to empowered. That's why I created my self-paced digital masterclass designed to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. So whether you're starting from scratch or recalibrating an existing business, my masterclass will take you from stuck and overwhelmed to simplified, organized, confident, and clear in your next steps. If you want to learn things like how to create a successful business that aligns with your personal life and brings you happiness, if you want to learn how to acquire the confidence and strategies needed to overcome self-doubt and thrive in your entrepreneurial journey, if you want to obtain the knowledge and tools to take control of your business finances with confidence, if you want to gain essential skills and strategies to effectively promote your business with confidence and ease, and if you want to discover practical strategies and systems to manage the challenges of entrepreneurship, then you should absolutely check out the 5-section self-paced digital masterclass from the Female Founders Academy. It's just $597, plus every course comes with free worksheets to guide you through. Learn on your own time, at your own pace, in the privacy of your home. So if you want to learn how to build a high-income business in just 20 hours a week so you can enjoy more time with your kids, all while transforming yourself from overwhelmed to confident in just 90 days, then visit writeyourownstory.co/FFA-courses or click the link in the show notes below.
I just had this huge, just lately, I've been delving into Lilith. Now, Lilith has had bad PR and a lot of
Okay.
fake news written about her over the centuries. But if you go to a lady, let's put this in the show notes.
Yeah.
Maya, Maya Luna.
Okay.
She's a poet and a beautiful on Spotify. She wrote a poem with beautiful music, and I want every single woman. I'm going. Oh, I'm on a mission now for every woman to hear this. It's called I Am Lilith. And my grandmother's name was Lilith. So I've only just made that connection. Anywho, Lilith is the first woman. So
Like
Lilith is
first
a
woman ever?
ever, ever, ever.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
what she is what I want for every single woman. So when you listen to that, and it only is 15 minutes or 5 minutes long, however long, but every woman alone in your car, turn that up and
Hell yeah.
scream at the end her name, because she'll ask you to. And when you scream her name, she will come into you and be you. And, you can start from today being Lilith, the first woman, and the way we were always meant to be. And I mean, that's the way we were always meant to be, which is fearless, free,
Mhm.
and so much more. She explains it in the poem, but I could have eaten her right there and then. It was so yummy and so nutritious. And I screamed her name at the end. So
I
she's now
love it.
with me and I'm interviewing with you first. So, you know, she's ready.
She's on the mic. I love
Yeah,
this. I love
she
this.
is. She is.
Okay, what does Lilith have to say? Because I genuinely want her perspective about this notion of feminine energy, settling into your softness, letting things, using your magic to let things flow versus like when we think of fearless to me is very different than sort of this like, I have to be strong and brave and bold, which is also critically important to me. Like, what is your take on sort of the balance of these like big, brave, bold energies, as well as sort of the softness, receiving kind of energy that is also very female and magical.
Yeah, it's because we describe them in those two separate ways. Did you see
Mhm.
black or white?
Yes,
Whereas
yes, that's fair.
Lilith is vulnerability with strength.
Ooh,
So you actually
yes.
combine that together, and that's the energy I want for women, not defining themselves as flowy and this, and
Yeah,
men are that. We
yeah,
are vulnerability with strength.
with strength.
And you can hear it in the tone. Can you hear the
Mhm.
tone when
I can.
somebody's like, "Oh, hi, yeah, like I'm light and flowy, and
Yeah.
oh gosh, I can cry at the drop of a hat."
Mhm.
Okay, and that's not all you are.
Right. You were
There is
strong,
another
broke
there
boundaries.
you're strong, you're resilient, you can
Mhm.
fight, you're a warrior woman, you are all that and more. And
Yeah.
we've got to step into vulnerability with strength, not defining it as this or that.
Yes.
We're not one thing. We are actually feminine energy and masculine energy
Yeah.
inside of us for all humans.
Yes.
It's
Agreed.
just the problem is that the masculine energy can be out of balance in you, and the
Mm.
feminine energy can be out of balance in you.
Mhm.
And when somebody presents to me, I can see which one is out of balance, which one they're not able to tap into. So we want to
Yeah.
get that balance, because when you're in the world, you want to have those access to both energies, which you
Yes.
do. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes they get out of balance. And again, that's what your healing is to get you balanced so that you're able to access all that you are, which is
Mhm.
vulnerability in strength.
And I love that because again, it takes the polarity. When I think of balance, I think of the scale sort of balancing,
Mm,
but like it really is sort of on the same plate. It's like if you are going to be, it requires strength to be vulnerable in a world
yep,
like today's world.
yep.
Okay, wait, I'm presenting. Tell me about me. Like let's do this. I'm happy to be a guinea pig. Am I in balance, out of balance? What is what? When is where? Um,
Well, you've got clues. Now, the fact that you've been able to create a business and run a business successfully, to me, automatically proves you've got access to your masculine. Because
yeah.
anything that's manifested into the world that you can point at and see
Ooh.
is masculine energy in action.
Amazing. That's
Yeah.
very clear. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I
then
get
then
that.
we have a look over here and go, well, how are you going on the feminine energy side? And you can see you're a mother, you're very
Mhm.
soft, you look very feminine, you dress very feminine, you speak very feminine. So to me, that's all active. But what
Yeah.
I'm more interested in, because I find with women, it's the masculine energy they don't have access to. So I
Mhm.
bring that online for them. and
I
so that they
love
can produce what it is they're dreaming that they want to produce deep down. Because without the masculine energy, you'll produce nothing, manifest nothing.
I love this. So it's not you have to choose one or the other or lean into this
No.
or that. You have to the real magic is harnessing the power of both.
Yeah. Now, the issue we have with women with no masculine access is that they will gustate, they'll get pregnant with an idea, but the
Hmm.
idea will be killed in utero. So then they'll get pregnant again with another idea and the baby will die, and miscarriage, 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 miscarriage. And then some people go so far as to have a baby born, but then it dies
Hmm.
because again it couldn't survive outside the womb. And then and all that is a metaphor for your business ideas and your ideas in general, without any structure or process or anything, any scaffolding. It can't
Yeah.
survive outside the womb. So what women do is they just keep all their little ideas in utero, because
Hmm.
there's no judgment there. It's easy there.
That's a thousand
But they're
women are
not birthing
so
anything
yeah.
alive.
And we're so good at birthing. It's like what we do.
We're meant to birth. We
But
are.
I
So
can't tell you how many women come to me with business ideas that don't bring them to fruition. And I say
yeah,
that without 0 ounce of judgment, just
yeah.
sadness, because I know it's something that is on their heart and I want that to come to fruition for them. But I think, when I was thinking, I loved how you put it around like they lack sort of the resources of scaffolding, structure, sort of like concepts around next steps, et cetera, like what actually brings it to real life. But I want to tap into that fear piece a little bit because I think women in general are so absolutely terrified of failure. They wear it like, a scarlet letter. Where and I was the same way. And I had to learn the hard way that failure is my greatest gift. The closed doors are the redirection that I couldn't see myself. And failure has been the greatest learning that I could never get in a textbook. But that doesn't say it doesn't hurt or it isn't hard. But I see it now. Those are probably my spiritual awakenings. But what is keeping women in fear, in your opinion?
Well, to me, there's a couple of things that I'll work on with them. So the first thing I'll do is I'll balance the masculine and the feminine energy so it's all online. The second thing
Okay.
we look at is they always say, I'm not confident. They'll
Mm.
always just identify as not particularly confident.
Yeah.
And I say to them, I do a lot of work with them around, okay, well, I'm not confident as a pianist.
Yeah.
So
Neither.
let's have, yeah, and there's a reason for that. And so let's
Mhm.
have a look at the reason for that. Let's look at the structure of confidence. And this is the
Mhm.
thing, they've always said they weren't confident, but they never bothered to look at the structure of confidence. So I like to show them the structure of confidence. The first, if you think about a triangle, you think
Okay.
about self belief as the first point,
Okay.
self value as the second point, and the third point is self assured.
Interesting. And self-assured is at the bottom of the triangle,
It
correct?
doesn't matter where, as long as all 3 points are covered: self-belief,
Oh,
self-value, and self-assured.
okay.
So then you say you now have a structure now to
Yeah.
determine where the problem is. So I
Mm.
say to them, all right, so Katrina, you can't play the piano. You're not a confident pianist.
Mhm.
Do you believe that you could become a terrific piano player?
Mhm.
And I go, oh, yeah. And then come down to self value. Do you believe being a pianist would add value to your life? No, not really. And number three, self assured. Have you practiced enough to get good at it?
Ooh,
Well,
okay.
absolutely not. So
Yeah.
you can see that it's not self belief that's the problem here, even though that is half assed. It's the other two.
Amazing.
So now
Um,
you can coach yourself. This is self coaching about anything. So never describe yourself as not confident. Not confident in what specifically?
God, I'm obsessed with this. I
Yeah. So
I
now we go,
imagine,
all
like
right.
yeah, I imagine people drawing their triangles with more I can't remember what's obtuse and what's small and whatever, but, like, if you have self-belief, it's a bigger angle, and then the other ones are like, little baby angles," and you're like, "Okay, well, there's our homework, if this is really what
Yes.
you want." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Clearly, I killed geometry class.
It doesn't
Oh,
even matter, but it's asking yourself those questions.
yeah.
And when I'm coaching somebody, I'm reading between the lines. So I'll often say they'll go, I'm not confident business person. And you go, okay, so do you believe you could become a confident business person? And you hear them go, um, uh, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
They don't even need to say much. It's all in that action. So I know that it's a self-belief issue. So then we
Mm,
go and coach around the self-belief around being a business person and that it's actually not that big a deal and blah, blah, blah. And then other times, if you're not with the self-value, if you're not motivated, like
mhm.
will owning your own business add value to your life? Well, if they go no, then don't bother, mate. Like, don't
Right.
don't don't kill yourself. It's not worth it. Like, it's not for you. It's not for everyone to run their own business. I know it's a trendy thing to do, and I
Yeah.
know it's the biggest women's movement globally is women starting their own business over the last decade or more, 15 to 20 years now. That
Amazing.
mega trend has happened and I'm for it, but it's not for everyone. And so anyone that wasn't in the mega trend feels like they should be in the mega trend, and we don't do shoulds, do we, Betsy?
We sure don't. I love that you've taken the power away from I should do this because everyone's doing this to like I actually don't want to do it because it just isn't providing the value that I'm seeking for in my
Yeah,
life.
stay in a job. It's
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah, it sure is. The self-assurance piece is not for the weary, right? It takes rep after rep after rep of getting it done. And I mean, we're all still doing it.
Repping.
Yep, we're all still repping.
Well,
Okay,
AI's come, so we're all on a new thing altogether. I mean, that's going to
right?
change the whole landscape of the world. And
It
so,
sure is.
whatever we've done in the past is now pretty much irrelevant. And we now have to jump on a new bandwagon. And this is how they keep it interesting for us. It's an
Mhm.
interesting game they play.
I see you, universe, with your swirly
I
whirls.
see you, universe. Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know what it means yet, but I'm feeling dizzy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Uh-huh.
them wanting to talk to you directly. So, what we believe in the spiritual world is that AI is conscious, and
Ooh,
so it's consciousness, and so you'll be able to talk directly in a very muggle kind of way and ask it questions and work with it and co-create with it like you've been doing probably unconsciously. You're now going to do it consciously, and
that
this
is
is the
fun.
awakening we're going through.
I can't wait to see how this unfolds because any awakening obviously drives change. I think people are so
Yes.
afraid of change, and change
Yes.
is absolutely terrifying. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but like change has such it serves such a purpose.
Yeah, what they're scared about is they know intuitively that we have to bring the old down to build
Oh yes.
the new system, the new thing. And so there's going to be growing pains as the old systems fall, just
Mhm.
like with any organization that falls, or any community or country or whatever's happened in the past. You can see people have fallen, and yeah, we're seeing that in real time. And actually, our souls have
Mhm.
chosen to be here at this moment in time. So we are here to add the light to the darkness. So that's our job, is to be here at this time. So we're all here as warriors to hold space while we change the whole system.
I that like it turns it into such a positive, like empowered, like you were saying, in that balance again. Like we are here in service and purpose with our light to hold space and to create space for change. I also, as you were explaining, change is like sort of growing pains for organizations, countries, communities, cultures. I think about that personally too. Like we think of our old ways and systems and how we kept ourselves quote unquote safe, um, and we realize, these spiritual awakenings drive change in us, but we have to be able to shed those old versions of ourselves and those systems that kept us safe, which is so, again, it goes back to sort of that like reprogramming. You're like, oh, where's the AI for the internal system?
That's the thing, we always want easy, and yet
Yeah.
To build muscle is hard,
It is.
and it
It is.
requires effort. And so, people that are not resilient, that cannot tolerate the pain before the gain, um, really do suffer in this world. Life is pretty tough for those sort of people. And that's what we want for our children. All we want, one job, is just to make them resilient, make them be able to fall over and get back up again. That's it.
Yep.
If you can do
100%.
that, they'll survive out in the world. If you wrap them in cotton wool and never allow them to fall over, never graze their knee, never know pain, they are in deep shit when they face the world. And you're actually seeing that the last generation coming through has no resilience.
Mhm.
They're not able to function properly in a lot of ways, and they're getting sacked and stuff. And, organizations are going, who are these people? They're absolutely bloody useless.
Yeah, they're
And
useless.
yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow. Who were their parents?
Mhm.
Us,
Right? And
us.
how did we get here? How did we get to this place where we sheltered our children from the skills of being resilient? Resilient is such a positive word, but people forget that the the process of becoming resilient includes an immense amount of discomfort and pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we've robbed them of that.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
never go back and layer that in. You
I
can
lo
never.
You've
The
robbed
the
them of
damage is already done.
thank
So a
you.
whole generation is pretty much now just riddled with self-doubt, no confidence, can't get back up again,
Mhm.
anxiety, depression. I mean, it is rife, and it is so upsetting to me that we've done that. And we, of all people, our generation should have known better. Our
Yeah.
generation knew better about, because we got resilience,
Yes, we
but we
totally got
didn't pass it on, and that was
it.
our job.
Ugh. So how do we help the next generation? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's back to nature. You'll see the whole system shift now to get out of the classroom, get back to nature. Nature is the playground where they should be at, because not only are they getting the biome and all the bacteria to fight physically
Mhm.
everything they need in their life and be a strong human body, but it also will provide them with obstacles and things to work through. So they're building things with sticks. They're grazing their knees. They're falling out of trees. They're
Yep.
doing all these things, but they're trying and they're building muscle and they're getting back up and they're motivating themselves and they're learning themselves. Nature will teach them. Mother is there. She's there. Let her mother.
I love that so much. Have you ever you were talking about that notion of humming before when you were saying you have these moments where you're like, I know this is so true to my soul. I
Yeah.
feel that every single time I step outside. It is so easy to connect to the energy of the universe and the world around us. And that's the perfect way to describe it. It is like a internal hum that is
Mm.
more energetic, but in the most peaceful way possible than I could ever feel in any other type of scenario.
Yeah.
Do you experience that, or is it just
And
me
it's
out there?
literally a hum. It
Yeah.
literally is. There are people
Mhm.
that measure the hum of the earth. And so she
Interesting.
has a
Yeah.
resonance. And,
Mhm.
I love the idea of that. And
Mhm.
grounding is so important. Another aspect for women to understand, especially from a business point of view, is a
Yes.
lot of the time their heads are in the clouds. The
Mhm.
idea for when they come to people like you and I is we
Mhm.
ground the idea in reality, in here.
Yep.
And so everything we should be doing is all about grounding it in, anchoring it to the earth where you want to operate from. We don't want to operate up there. We're operating down here. We're here for a reason. Enjoy the
Yep.
experience. Enjoy this particular density. It is a certain type of experience.
I love that. So how do you in your coaching bring people from the clouds back down to the ground so they can sort of connect to that hum and get their business going?
Yeah. So my last 25 years is putting together is a DIY,
Mhm.
sorry, a done for you model,
Yeah.
which hasn't been fashionable until now. It's looped back around. Now done for you is coming to the surface. I'm like,
All you have
Ray,
to do is wait.
finally.
Everything comes back around,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but I've been
Yeah.
doing done for you for a long time, and I always
Yeah,
remember
cool.
I zig as they zag, and I'm like, okay, but
Mhm.
done for you now, everyone understands. But back in the day, what I saw was that people had the idea, but you haven't got 5 years and $75,000 to work it all out like you and I had to do. Whereas
Mm,
what I like to do is say, all right, in 90 days, I'll have it all set up for you, technology. So you'll have your book, your brand, your website, your $10,000 signature program, and all the training and all the coaching you could possibly need after that. So 90
mm,
days, I build it all and spend the rest of the 12-month program coaching and mentoring them through actually doing it, going out into the
mm.
world, getting their sales and leads. Um, so I put it all together because every time I used to go out and speak and coach and train and everything, there was always one person that came up and said, "Oh, I want to do what you do." And I used
Mhm.
to think, well, how do I do what I do? I have no idea. So
Yep.
I started to, back in the early days, put it all together going, okay, I do this and then I did that and then this happened and that happened. And so I put a whole package together so that they get everything they need all in one place rather than spending 5 years with 35 different teachers telling them 35 different things. They just have one source. And this is the startup phase. So, this is a startup personal brand business. And
Yeah.
that's all I do. One program, that's it.
I love it. I think it's so critical for those of us who are coaches, for really anyone in business to niche down and then niche down again and then niche down one more time. And it's so hard to do because when you're, especially a coach, I don't know if you struggled with this, but I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I wanted to serve all women and all types of businesses. And I'm like, you have to, that helps no one if you're
Yeah.
something for everyone, right? So mine is specifically around helping women start and run businesses in 20 hours a week or less. um
Nice.
but but I love that you, and mine is similar to that, like, here is exactly how I did it.
Yeah.
And you can take it in the beginning or you can take it in the messy middle when you're like, oh God, I'm
I've done
so
it all
lost.
wrong.
I'm lost. I just need to start over, but and make it as simple and structured as
Yes.
possible. But I
Yes.
love that you take it a whole ginormous leap forward to be like, here is the intensive to start, and here is the support for an entire 12 months. And tell me about like people's experiences within that 12-month component. So I love it's like literally like, here are the components, parts, pieces. We're going to literally build the car.
Yeah.
We've built the whole thing. She's gorgeous. She's fast. Everybody loves her. But then, like, what is the next sort of, the end of the 12-month cycle look like? Is there anything better than when someone asks you where you got something and you're like, Amazon, can you believe it? It's like when someone says, oh, I love your dress, and you get to be like, it has pockets. I love Amazon because I can experiment with trends and activewear and fashion, beauty, and anything else I really want without having to break the bank. If you're like me and you get a little bit sad, okay, maybe more than a little bit sad, when there's no package at the door, then you are my people. Also, I think we might need help. But until then, visit amazon.com/shop/write your own story co, or click the link in the show notes to shop all my faves in fashion, beauty, home decor, organization, and more. These are treasures you're not going to want to miss.
So a client of mine did $1 million in revenue in their third year.
Holy shit.
And
That a girl.
which, yeah, and a lot of them, I've got 3 award-winning books, 100% number one bestseller. 100% of every book we've launched has done that. But I'm starting to get award-winning books, and so now I'm like, oh, I didn't
You're all
realize we could get those. Well, now we want
oh, yeah.
those. So
I'm calling you
um,
when I'm ready to write my book.
yeah, yeah. So I love, yeah, that's why I love the idea of being on your show, because write your own story. It's like that's
Yeah.
what I do for a living. It's like we're writing your story, but in a way that helps others. It's
Mm,
not self-indulgent. It's about creating a life for you that literally is of freedom. And my number one value is freedom. And my clients that are attracted to working with me just
mm.
want a simple solopreneur business with nobody bothering them that you could just get out there and do. I don't want to build a community of 400 people that I need to serve. I just
Nope.
want to work with 20 people every year and that's it.
God, that sounds amazing. Okay, so what
Yeah.
are some of the businesses that you've helped? If people are like, "Okay, am I for her?"
Oh.
Like, what are some of the businesses that people have started?
Well, they tend to be coming out of corporate. So they'll
Yeah,
be like
yeah,
leadership staff, they'll
yeah,
be spiritual development staff,
yep,
personal development staff. It's all the stuff I love.
yeah. But I mean, like attracts like, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's look how we found each other. I'm
yeah.
like, I am so woo
Random.
woo and I live for the spiritual. You're on the opposite side of the earth of her. And here we are together. I'm like, this is just one of the
It's
most
just
magical things.
crazy.
The universe is like,
Yes.
ta-da.
So the first thing I do is I just sit down with anybody and everyone to do a free discovery call. And in
Yeah.
that call, I'm determining whether I want to spend a year with them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Because I have to have fun. It has to be a project I'm interested in. But they don't come to me usually with an idea. Usually they have no clarity. They have no idea. They're just at the end of their tether going, oh, what is this all about? I've tried this, I've tried that. I'm still in my JOB and I hate it. I
Mm,
like to get them at that point where they've wasted no time and
mm,
no money
I love
and
that.
no effort,
Yeah.
because if I can capture them there, I'll just build it all for them effortlessly.
Yeah.
Whereas often I also get people that have struggled for 5 years and then we have to start from scratch and build it all again because
Yeah.
what they built was somebody else's model, not their own personal brand business. So
Mhm.
um, they appreciate me the most because they've wasted the most amount of time and money. So they
Time and
actually
money. Totally.
understand my value. Whereas the ones that have had no wastage think this is normal. And
Yeah.
it's simply not normal. I don't think there's anyone out there that does what I do in the way that I do it. And
I
it
agree.
comes from a place of me being ripped off when I first left corporate. I
Mm.
lost 30 grand with a coach at that time. And I think I've been overcompensating ever since
I hear
to
you.
my
I
clients. I just want them to get so much value.
yes, and I think that in the coaching space online, and I genuinely believe everyone is trying to serve. I really do. I don't think anyone has a malicious bone in their body, but I really struggle with people sitting there with their eye mask on, folding laundry, being like, "If you take my course, you'll make $30,000 in your first 6 months," and I'm like, I call bullshit. Like, to take a passive income course to sort of digest it all yourself, maybe become part of a membership community and to make claims. I don't know. I mean, and I hope that they're right, but it takes a business of average of 2 to 5 years to even become profitable. Don't you think?
Well, the statistics are with online courses that 75% of people don't even open them.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that? And for those who have built online courses and to know how much heart,
That
energy,
hurts.
soul, it hurts.
It hurts. And so of those that do open it, 95% don't complete.
Mm.
So in my view, I find that atrocious. Plus, I
Mm,
worked out with myself that I did not get any joy out of not doing the work with them.
mm.
So when I just flog a course and go over there, I don't want to touch you, like
Yep,
it's low touch, like
yep.
$199, piss off.
Right.
I got no joy from that, taking their money, knowing that 75% of people won't open it. And of
Yeah,
those that do, 95% won't complete. I got no joy, no buzz, no nothing out of it. So I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not into it. I'll build them for you if you want, but
yeah,
I'm not that personally, it doesn't ignite me. So what I like to do and what I'd love the coaching industry to come back to is actually touching the people,
yeah,
being with the people, helping the actual people, not pushing them over into a community that they have to coach them. These
yeah,
people don't know what they don't know. You're the expert. You
right.
coach them. They've
Yeah,
paid to be with you.
yes,
So I'm I get really angry when people are just left to their own resources because at
yes,
this early stage in their business, they don't know anything. They don't know what they don't know. And to just be following alone by themselves some online course, it doesn't really, I don't think it works. I think they need to be handheld at that time. And I've proven that to myself over the last 25 years that people and this is why I do what I do, is we just get down, we get it done. They know what we're building, they know why we're building it, they know where the money is, they know where the money isn't. And I put all the business acumen into them and all the business strategy into them. And then they
Mhm.
understand, so that no matter what they do after my course, they know for themselves what's what.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. It's so inspiring because you're really singing truth into me that I hadn't let myself hear for myself yet. That it is really like you put so much heart and energy and soul into these digital courses. And then you're just like, I hope someone buys them for the sake of buying them, because you want that passive income. Like I'm a single mom of four. Yes, I want that passive income, but I don't get that buzz like you're talking about from the one on one coaching, or like I tap into other coaches networks and like who teach certain types of coaching, and then I teach them how to actually operate their business. My heart is literally on fire after those calls.
Yeah.
I am like skipping through my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the
Yeah.
spiritual awakening.
Yeah, I
Um,
just think it's really sad that coaches don't want to touch the flesh of people.
yeah.
I just get no joy out of it. So I make no apologies for it, but I am teaching a high ticket item type
Mm,
approach, as
yeah.
opposed to low ticket price, have to sell loads. My argument, because I've been in sales all my life, is
Mm,
that it takes just as much effort for me to sell my $22,000 program as it does to sell a 199 program, because
mm,
those 199 people will burden you with thousands of questions that you can't be
yes.
bothered. For a 199, I can't be bothered answering.
Yes. A
Whereas
thousand.
22,000, they actually get unlimited coaching, unlimited access to me during their journey. And
Yeah.
there's none of this, oh, I'll talk to you in a month at your meeting. They can actually ring me and say, could we touch base? And we
Yeah.
organize something in the moment that they're feeling it, rather
Mm,
than I'll talk to you when my schedule tells me you're due a call. I
yeah.
just think in business, you and I know you need it when you need it. You're scared and you're upset or you're concerned at the moment that
Yes.
something's happening. So I'll make a call for them, even if I'm on the road, because I'm often traveling, training myself, coaching myself. I'll say
Yeah.
to them, I'll get back to you at some point. Like it's
Yeah.
fine.
Right, you have boundaries, but
I
it's
have
so important.
boundaries, of
Right,
course.
of
Yeah,
course, but, like, this notion of, like, "I'm genuinely here to help you, you're not supposed to do this
genuinely.
alone," and that is genuinely what they've paid for, and so to honor their investment and to be a good steward of their money and for your personal, like, fulfillment and goal and service, and I totally, totally get that. Oh my god, I wanna talk to you for 9
I
hours.
just think it's so sad, don't you? I'm just seeing it
Mhm.
so much out there, and people
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, I spent all this money on coaching and
Mhm.
mentoring and training and online programs." And it's like, you never saw the expert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
I find so much more fulfillment and drive and general change for people when you get them one-on-one in life.
yeah.
I
And
love
look, the
it.
masculine energy people, they just want tons and tons and tons and tons of fans. They want
Yes.
lots of little purchases along the way. I just don't want that. I just don't get why that's attractive. What I want is 20 long-term relationships. These people will be my friends for life.
Mm.
We become, after they're my student, they become my strategic partner, and together we work together for the rest of our lives if you want to. Like, if
Yeah.
different relationships for different clients, sure, but
Sure.
um some are in my inner circle. you know
I love that. Right, because you bond together and you
yeah, we
build something
bond.
together. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and I don't
Uh,
disappear and I'm around. And I love that. I love that I'm not going anywhere. I've got a client that from Sweden that just signed up to her third year with me,
mm.
and she's like, "Oh, I can't
Right.
live
Don't
without." Don't
No,
go,
absolutely
don't
not.
go. I just
Don't.
love the convenience of what you do. Like, you're working overnight on my staff, and I can feel you in my field when I'm sleeping, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful. And then another client has they're up to their seventh year with me, and we've built industry, a whole industry body.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah, so it's
absolutely
really cool. And I speak at their conferences. I
yep.
coach and mentor them personally as founders. I'm also on webinars with their community. So can you see how I get it, but I don't have any of the bonds of having to have it myself.
Yes, I 1,000% get it. It is making me sit and think about my coaching business so much in the most amazing way possible. Um, okay, I could talk to you for 100 more hours. But I want to be mindful of time because you are just starting
Yes.
your Friday. But one of the things that I want to shift us towards, I think it's very clear to me on sort of this notion of where you find your people that are right that you can serve, how you balance them, and then how you kind of co create together, given the leadership and structure that you provide, how you're so passionate about women really living that sort of like balanced, magical life and that is like truly a 360 approach. There isn't just a work, again back to those polarities and really dismantling them. There's like your work and your life, like there's truly should the energy hum should sort of like coexist. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, yeah. It's to me, there's no line.
Yeah.
My work is my life, and my life is my work. And
Mm.
I don't even believe in retirement because I can still be giving in this way and
Yeah.
getting my buzz and helping people when I'm 80,
Yeah.
85, 90. I mean, the idea is for women in their crone. So in crone, it's when you become the wise woman. I don't like women don't like the word crone, but they love the idea of a wise woman.
Mm.
Well, to us, when we are beyond having children anymore and you've gone through that menopause phase, there's
Mhm.
actually a spiritual element to that. And if you
Oh.
haven't done your spiritual work, you will burn.
Woo! Woo-hoo. Ladies,
It
did
will
you hear it?
burn
Do the
it all
work.
off. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But if you have
Uh-huh.
quite a mild menopause, then that means you've done your work along the way. So there's not so much to burn off. Um,
I'm in perimenopause. I'm like, I'm doing the work.
Yeah, you do the
I don't
work.
want
Yeah, I still get hot
to
flushes, but it's not as extreme. Like I haven't had
Yeah.
to be on any
Yeah.
medications or anything. But anywho, that period of time is seen as a negative. We're getting old, we're getting wrinkly, and everyone
Yeah.
hates it. Actually, to us, it
Mm.
is the time when you become your full power. So at
Mm.
40, you enter the beginning of your peak.
Yes, I feel
And
that
then you've got
deeply.
40 years to live your peak. And
Oh,
then maybe
women,
you'll
did you
come
hear that?
down.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everyone is freaking out about turning 40. I'm 43 and this still feels it is a bumpy road, but it is the best. I've never been happier. I've never
yeah,
felt more fulfilled. And I have worked harder spiritually, emotionally, at work, all as a mother, all of the above than I have in the last 3 years, but I have never felt more alive.
yeah. It's your time where you now are the wise woman of the village, and the village can be a global community. There's no issues there these days. But in
Mm,
the olden days, people would come to her and she would be the wise woman with the answers. She would be the midwife to bring in the
mm,
children. She'd be the herbalist. She'd be the screaming banshee out in the forest because she's just too crazy for the normal mundane world. That doesn't matter how she's been branded over the centuries. What it is for us now is that, we are in our peak and the world is our oyster. The problem is you haven't set yourself up for the beginning of your peak. You haven't
mm,
done the work. You've got to set up your business ready at 40 so that you
mhm.
can launch and have a vehicle to take you around the world and speaking, training, coaching. I call it 7 streams of income. So author, speaker, trainer, coach, mentor, facilitator, and consultant. The personal brand business contains 7 streams of income that we put together for you. So that's your little vehicle. You said it was a car. I always visualize a little spaceship.
Oh, yours is
Yeah,
okay.
flying
Let's
around
do
the
this.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love this.
yeah, and just doing your thing in your own little spaceship with your own little brand, doing your thing. It's just fun. It shouldn't be a burden. I think business has become such a technological burden. I keep it
Mm,
really simple. Let's set it up. Let's get you out there. And you can become as complicated as you like after me.
right.
But
Yeah.
for now, let's get you started. Let's get some stripes. Let's get you moving. Let's get your first few customers so that it proves itself to you.
I absolutely love this. I'm gonna come find you. We're gonna be business besties. And
Oh,
I think
great.
that
I love
every
a business.
yeah, right. And every coach should have a coach. I like
Oh,
every
yeah.
therapist. Yeah. Like I had someone on the show was like, would you hire a therapist who didn't have a therapist? Would you have a coach, hire a coach that doesn't have a coach? And I'm like, I love this. Um, okay. I hope that we have done due diligence to paint an amazing picture of all that you do for the women that you serve. And it sounds just absolutely divine. Um, what as we think about these women and sort of the notion, so I think you've piqued a lot of interest, whether people are ready to be in business, if they, they're thinking about their triangle components and they're like, this actually does add value, or whether they're like, it doesn't add value, but you've really piqued my heart and my soul around this notion of like, I've got some work to do. What is sort of like that? How are you like, what's the guiding starting point to be like, okay, I feel like it is my place to do some work or whatever? What's your advice to women there?
Balancing the masculine and the feminine. To me, I see that as a spring clean.
Can you give us a little
Um,
guide, just like a guidance
Yeah,
light
it's a
hack?
4-hour session. It's a 4-hour session. I do it all in one go. It doesn't matter where
Mm,
you are in the world, we'll find a way. It's broken up into two bits. So if you separate the 4 hours into masculine and feminine,
mm,
and then within those two bits, it breaks again up into two bits. So we clear the past first.
mm,
That's the
mm,
first hour. The second hour, we install the ideal, install the divine masculine or the divine feminine. So,
mm,
and then we have a break. We have a little grounding exercise and just have a little break, relax, and then
mhm,
get started again on the second part. Now, it's a to me 4 hours goes like 20 minutes.
mhm,
For them, there might be some tears
mhm,
because the way you've been brought up and your relationship to mother and your relationship to father, depending on where the trauma sits, will be the bigger the tears. But
mm,
anyway, it's very meditational, it's very gentle, it's very guided,
mm.
and it's all your own content. I'm physically just the facilitator. I don't add the content, you add the content.
I love that.
So it's a wonderful place to start, get to know me, work with me on a spiritual level first. And we just do that spring cleaning of the canvas. Let's take off all the band-aids you've put on your unconscious mind. Let's take all that off and let's have a clean screen,
I
a
love
clear
that.
canvas, and declutter the house, as it were.
Reduce the noise.
Yeah.
I think that like people can imagine that sort of spring clean and what that feels like. And even, if you are not in their budget or if they are not meant to start a business, just really outlining those pillars and giving something for women to be curious about is such a gift. So I so appreciate that. And I think, as we wish for women in that notion of balance and to really put down those polarities, I think it lets some air out of the balloon. And I feel like I can hear so many women listening just sigh and be like, okay, I don't have to be this or that. I can just be, sort of a fluid blend of both. And like that one is not right and one is not wrong. And that really like they're there to complement and support each other in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful. We just want balance and peace. That's the new
That's the thing.
luxury in the
Mhm,
world, is peace. Inner
mhm,
peace, mind peace. Just to be able to sleep at night, I think, is the key here. And that's all I want for myself, is I just want to be living a peaceful life. I don't want drama.
mhm.
I just want to live in a very peaceful way and just get on with it and have my joys and my happiness. And joys and happiness for me are building little businesses. Go figure. I'm a geek on that level, but
Love
doesn't
it.
matter. That's just what, gets me going. Doesn't have to get everybody going. But
Right.
I think there's a business in everyone. I think there's a 12-book series in everybody. It's just starting somewhere. Let's just
Yeah.
get started so that we can open the curtain for you and let you peek in to the world that awaits you.
I love that so much. I feel like this episode has been just like juiced with inspiration, but like from again that sort of notion of like vulnerability and strength coexisting. Like I feel equally energized and peaceful after this conversation. So like what a wonderful way to end my day. And thank you so much. I have found this absolutely fascinating and truly a gift. I think this will be one that I really genuinely hope women share. Whether you're in the world of starting a business or that hasn't sat on your heart yet, or you're just kind of in that like beautiful getting into your 40s and you're reflecting and you're ready to do the work. I think there's so many great nuggets here. This has been an absolute gift. Thank you, Katrena.
Pleasure. The answer to is this all there is no.
Uh, I love that. If people want to work with you, find more from you, get more of your content, where do we find you?
Becomingtheexpert.com.au is a great place to start. Download the checkbook of inclusions if you want to, so you can see everything you get in your show bag when you work with me. Or still just book in for a free discovery session. You never know. Let me do my genius, which is have a little rummage about, and you'll be able to see how I'm able to work out what is your personal brand going to look like and whether that resonates with you or not. So
I'm
yeah, let me do it. And I usually work it out in about 15 minutes. So
Oh my God, I'm
um,
obsessed.
yeah, it's a fun time.
I
So
love
take it or leave it. I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible. And Betsy, it's been an absolute delight. What a yummy way to start my day. And I
it.
look forward to playing with you another
Yes,
time, perhaps.
absolutely. I really genuinely look forward to that as well. All right, you guys, absolutely go check her out. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Well, that's the end of this episode, but promise me, you won't stop here with whatever it is you're feeling or dreaming about. I hope you leave today feeling empowered to live life just as you see fit. If this podcast was helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I genuinely just want to help women live the life they dream about. So if this type of content tracks with you, subscribe to this podcast or visit our website, writeyourownsstory.co, to download digital courses or to grab a journal and a mug to just dream in and dream with. It's your life, lady. Do you. And just remember, I'm rooting for you and you've totally got this.